I'm Tommie Lee, and this is the Scam of the Week. Jan Diaz, the president and CEO of Your Better Business Bureau serving Northern Indiana, joining us once again. Jan, it's always great to talk with you.
Hey, good morning, Tommie. It's always a pleasure to be here.
So we just got out of the month of May, which was Older Americans Month, and you've got something that goes along with that for us today, yes?
Yes, that's right. Older Americans Month is all about challenging the stereotypes about aging and shining a light on the value that older adults bring to our communities every day. But we also have to be realistic that older adults are a prime target for scammers, and that's something we can't ignore.
All right, so let's shine a spotlight on the issues that are there. What is the data telling you?
Yes, so our research at the Better Business Bureau shows four main types of scams that target adults 55 and older. So these four are financial investments, online purchases, romance sites, and home improvement deals. And so to start, investment scams are one of the riskiest types of fraud for older adults. So if you see someone pitching a can't miss investment, whether it's cryptocurrency, real estate, or stocks, and they're guaranteeing big returns, that's a huge red flag, and you can end up losing a lot of money very quickly. Now let's break down the two age groups. For adults ages 55 to 64, online shopping scams are the biggest risk, especially scams where people think they're buying a pet or a rare item that's hard to find. And then if you're 65 or older, romance scams are the most common. Romance scams are especially painful because they hit you emotionally and financially. And finally, all older adults are at risk for home improvement scams.
So let's dig into these scams targeting older adults. What do they all usually have in common?
Yeah, great question. So most of the time, scams start with a message. So you might get that message via text, email. It might be a phone call or a friend request on social media, or even someone showing up at your front door. Then the scammer's goal is to create urgency. If they can make you feel scared or excited, pressured, or even in love, you're more likely to act quickly and not think through the situation.
Far more often than not, urgency is a huge red flag. Let's start with investment scams, since they seem to be the biggest threat and can be devastating. What should people be watching out for?
So if you get offered an investment that promises guaranteed returns in crypto or real estate or can't miss out on stock, you should be very cautious. Scammers will even create fake websites, documents, and testimonials to make an investment offer look real. So if you send money to one of these scammers, you might even see fake statements that look like your investment is growing. But unfortunately, none of it is real. Eventually, the scammers disappear and your money is gone.
And it's heartbreaking to think that older adults can lose their savings so quickly, and it happens all the time. And it's not just investments, because online purchase scams can be just as risky if you're not careful. So what should people watch out for with the online shopping scams? I know they're plentiful as well.
Yeah, so that scam feels real because you see a product online. Maybe it's a pet or a piece of furniture or a great deal, and you buy it. But the item never arrives, or what shows up is a cheap knockoff or even a miniature version of what you thought you purchased. So these scammers often use fake business names, fake websites, stolen photos. And once you send a payment, usually through gift cards or wire transfers or apps like Zelle, the scammer disappears, they can't be reached, and you never hear from them again.
And it's really eye-opening just how easy it is to be tricked online, whether you're savvy or not. Whether you're trying to buy something or you're just looking for a connection, they're out there to prey on you. And this brings us to another really painful scam. That's the romance scams, which can be absolutely devastating, especially for somebody who was already feeling very lonely and was just looking for companionship.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tommie. Romance scammers create fake profiles and reach out through dating sites or social media. So they'll build trust slowly, often over weeks or months. And then if you're feeling isolated, you're more vulnerable to these types of scams. So if you start to feel close to someone you've never met in person, and then they may ask for money for a medical emergency or travel expenses or a business deal, really whatever, you should immediately be suspicious. And because all romance scams pull at your emotions, the damage goes way beyond money. It's personal. It can be devastating to recover from.
It becomes very hard to trust anybody. And older adults that really need to be careful about being targeted. You need to find ways to avoid it. And it's more than just thinking smartly. You have to use other strategies because Lord knows the bad guys are. Now, you mentioned that the home improvement scams can really affect older adults as well. So what makes these exactly such a huge problem for the older listeners?
Home improvement scams usually start with someone knocking on your door out of the blue, and it often happens right after a storm, and they're offering to fix your roof, your driveway, or gutters. And then they'll promise a special deal, but you should be very careful. They may ask for a large deposit up front in order to start the work, but many times the work is either poorly done or it's never started at all. And once the scammer has your money, they're gone.
So let's shift gears on how to prevent this scam and how to protect yourself. Give us some tips.
Yeah, here are a few ways older adults can protect themselves. Do your research before you pay. Look up the person or company on bbb.org or search online for complaints or reviews about the company. And then you can also search the company name on the internet with the word scam after it and see what comes up. Verify the information independently of the info you've been provided. So basically, don't trust a phone number or link someone gives you, but go to the official source and ask to see licenses and references. And then don't pay anyone up front if you don't know who they are or haven't done your research, especially for large purchases or contracts. And always, always, always use credit cards. Don't use debit cards. Credit cards offer better fraud protection than cash apps or bank transfers. And if you've been paid with a credit card and lost money on that transaction, your credit card company will often refund those dollars to you.
Security, security, security.
Yes, that's right. Just basic stuff. Just use the credit card. And then lastly, talk to someone you trust. This is really important for seniors because scammers will sometimes pressure you into keeping it all secret. But just having a family member or a trusted friend take a second look can make a big difference. They might catch something that doesn't feel right or that you just didn't notice.
And again, if somebody realizes that they've been targeted by a scam, what should they do?
So if you or a loved one have been targeted in a scam, make sure to file a report with BBB Scam Tracker at bbb.org/scam tracker. It does help us spot trends, and it helps us to warn others of any type of fraudulent activity. And if you've lost money, notify your bank, your local authorities, and the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov.
And we've talked about this in the past with other scams. If somebody is spoofing another company, pretending to be another company, and you discover a scam through that, make sure you reach out to the real company and give them as many details as you can. They need to know how to warn their customers that there's somebody out there trying to make money off of their good name.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Tommie. And just a reminder to everyone also that if you've been scammed, it's not your fault. These scams are designed to trick even the smartest people.
Absolutely. Jan, thank you so much for a very sobering, powerful, eye-opening conversation. It just keeps getting scarier, and especially for people who are a little bit older. So let's all work together to keep our older loved ones safe by staying informed and connected. And thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you again next time on the Scam of the Week.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks so much, Tommie.
Podcasts by Federated Media.